everyone. Welcome back, and I hope that you're ready to watch me work on level design again, because that's what I'm doing today. I am continuing my work session from yesterday, working on my Greybox level for Dawn City Heist. So I am just going to hop straight into it, because I'm just picking up right where I left off yesterday. So, as a brief recap, what I did yesterday was I made some adjustments to the drones. I made them faster, and I made both their movement speed while they're patrolling around and the speed at which they catch you after you've been spotted. I made that faster. I also added a bunch of coins in here, and I changed the coin count to display the correct number of coins. I added a door over here with a key that, for now, I just put up on the railing over here. And inside that door, I put a target treasure in this other room. And I think I added some pillars and things here, just generally continued building out this structure of these rooms. So I think where I'll start today, I want to add some more hiding spots, because right now there's one spot where you can hide from either one of these drones, but I want more hiding spots. So I think a good place for one would be up here on the stairs, like at the end, so that once you get up there, because I notice when you're playing, I can show this real quick. I'll just do a quick kind of walkthrough. When you're playing, the best time in my mind to get past those drones is like right after they turn around to sneak up behind them. Right as he turns to go up here, and then there's a very brief window while he's turning that you can get past him. But I think it would be good to include a hiding spot, like maybe right here or over here, so that doesn't happen. So like right when you get up there, you hide instantly, so that as he's turning, he doesn't see you. So I'm gonna do that. Oh, I should have shown just now, but yesterday I was having some troubles with the drones, namely that when I got caught by the first one that does his rectangular patrol in here, I would teleport back and he would keep chasing me and he wouldn't go back to patrol. And I've mentioned that that's what the purpose of the return to patrol trigger that goes on top of the respawn point is. And I said that I couldn't figure it out at that time during the stream, but I would work on it later. So I did work on it a little bit, and all I did was I increased the size of the patrol trigger for that drone. So you can see there's a bigger layer here, and then there's the other two, which are smaller. And that seems to have done it, because if I play and get caught by this guy, he seems to no longer continue chasing me. He just goes back to patrol, which is what he's supposed to do. So I think what was happening there, if we look from a top-down view at the return to patrol triggers, which are in yellow, what probably was happening is I get caught here, I teleport here, he continues to chase me because he doesn't instantly register that he needs to go back to patrol. But now, because he's programmed to catch the player in 2 seconds, he's moving really fast, because by that time, like 2 seconds have passed. So he's moving so fast that it doesn't register him crossing this return to patrol trigger, which means he gets out of here. But he winds up around here, and he hasn't touched this yet, but his vision cone can still see the player. So he starts chasing, and if the player moves at all, especially if you move here or behind here, and he manages to clip through the collider again, he'll just keep going, or he might get stuck sometimes. But what I did was I made this bigger so it goes into this area. So even if he gets through this, when he winds up in this little buffer area between where the respawn point is and where the actual mansion room is, he will still touch this pretty quickly, and he should go back to patrol. So sometimes that's all it is just the colliders are funky and you have to rearrange them or change the size of them a little bit. And I'll continue testing that again today, and if I run into problems, I will troubleshoot some more. So, with that said, I wanted to add a hiding spot somewhere around this corner, or maybe over here somewhere. And I think another good spot for hiding places is right at the edge of the stairs on on either side, or maybe against the wall. So I have a lot of things that are completely symmetrical in this layout, but I think having asymmetrical hiding spot locations might be interesting. That's just my my intuition, my gut feeling here. So I am going to, I think if I go into gameplay only view, I can see my hiding spot, my one hiding spot that I have. I also noticed that what I have in my gameplay folder is getting kind of long, this list here. So I'm just going to create empty and call this coins, because I have a lot of coins in my level and I'm planning to have even more. I'll go into full view so I can move these coins, and I'll put them in that folder. And then I'll just close that up. So now there's a shorter list of things that I have here. And while I'm at it, I can also just go to make an empty hiding spots folder in full view, drag my existing hiding spot in there, go back to gameplay only. And now I have a folder for my hiding spots. So once I have more of these, I can just close that up and I don't have to look at them. But first I'll duplicate my hiding spot that I already have. And I'm going to start with, I'm just going to put the ones on the lower level first, and then I'll put the upper ones. So I think I would like to have a hiding spot either against the wall or in this corner. Maybe I'll do one like right against the staircase here. Yeah. And then I will I need to go and find this patrol bot, and I have to go into full view for this, but something that is important to do is to make sure you have a return to patrol trigger on top of every hiding spot in the drone's territory. And I think I discussed the reason for that before, but the reason for that is that if the drone goes over to the hiding spot and the player's not there because they're hiding, it could get stuck, or it could continue to chase the player and stay right there, and then when you exit hiding, it might catch you immediately, which is not fun. It's more fun if you go in the hiding spot, and if you were already spotted before you were hiding, the drone will chase you to the hiding spot, and when it gets there, it can't see you. And then if this patrol trigger is there, it will look at the hiding spot, and then it'll go back to patrolling. And then you can wait for your chance to get out. And that is a fun little bit of gameplay, so that's why we put these here. I'm just going to put that right there. I think that's about right. And I'll test that really quickly. And let's run. I can hide and unhide. Can I hide? He will come over here really quickly and then go back to patrol. And that's correct. That's what I want to happen. Let me try and escape without hiding. Run. So he actually... That's one thing that does happen. If you run and they go near the hiding spot while chasing you, they will still go back to patrol. That's okay. That's just a factor of how this system works, and you can kind of think about it as a player as, I went behind the hiding spot, so he lost line of sight. Now, one thing about this drone is the cone, the vision cone actually goes past the stairs a bit, which is why I got spotted when I was just standing next to the stairs here. And I kind of don't want that to happen. So I might just move the drone over a little bit so that he no longer sees players who are standing next to the stairs. So to do that, I just need to take this guy. I'm going to take the patrol bot, and I'll go back into full view so I can see everything. I will select the patrol bot and both of the move and rotate node pairs. And I'm just going to shift those over a little bit to the right. And if I zoom in here, I can see, does that go past the stairs, which it still does. It can get a little bit tough to see things in the scene, especially as you have more objects in here. And that's when it might come in handy to start hiding stuff by deactivating it in the editor. What I'm noticing here is I have to put that drone pretty far over for it to not see the player. If I lower this, does it? I'm just trying to see how far off the edge of the stairs that cone goes. It's not that far. So put him back up there. I will actually leave him a bit off of the wall, and the reason for that is, while I am sacrificing having the player be visible right there, I don't want him to be right against the wall. So I think that's about as good as I'm going to get it. Let me do the same for my other back and forth guy on the other staircase, because I want to maintain some symmetry here. And again, I don't want it right up against the wall. Let me just move it over just a smidge. And I might even take these return to patrol triggers, just the one that's against the wall, which one is it? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong bot. This guy, I will move his over a little, just so that it's less likely it'll bump up against the wall while it's on patrol and then go back to patrol, which it's already doing. It wouldn't hurt. It would only hurt if like the player went close to the wall and then the drone did too, and then the drone just stopped chasing. That would be weird. Where is this? Here we go. But I'm just going to move those over a little bit, and that should be okay. I think that's okay. One thing I can do to prevent the player from ever being in that situation where they're right next to the stairs and the drone can see them is block off that spot. And to do that, I'm going to have to move my coins because I don't want the coin to be inside the wall. So I'm going to hop back into gameplay only view and figure out which coin this is. This one, I'm going to move it closer to there. And same for its... Oh, I didn't have another one on the other side. That's good. Okay. And now I can go into environment only in this foyer room. And I think what might be easy to do is just duplicate this cube that I have over here, which is technically no longer a cube because I've deformed it, and just make kind of a addition to the wall here. Try and make it line up with that staircase. And this way as well. So you can see it's kind of getting to the point where the drone territory bounds are getting in the way of my vision. So I'm going to make a new folder for them and call this drones. And I will Can I just move them in gameplay view? No. Okay. I'll go into full view so I can move them. And now what I can do is deactivate the drones. So now you can't see them in the level, and when I play the level, they won't be there. But they're still there. If I activate them, they pop right back where they were. So I'm just going to deactivate those so that I can see what I'm doing in the editor. And I like that. I think that's good. So I'm going to duplicate this guy. I'll go back into environment only view, duplicate this, and move it over to the other side so it's mirrored. And now the player won't be able to stand right next to the stairs and have the drone see them and chase them when it feels weird for them to do that. So let me just play this real quickly and see what that feels like. And something that I could do to make this testing go even faster is move the player closer to... Oh, I deactivated the drones, except for that guy's still there. I did that. Okay, so there's a couple things wrong here. One is I forgot to activate the drones again before I tested. And the other is that, for some reason, the rectangle patrol bot did not go in with the drones. And now it says the door is in the drones folder. So that's confusing. Oh, I just misread it. Womp womp. Read carefully, kids. There we go. that should do it. Can't believe I didn't notice that. Okay. That ought to do it. But I want these active so I can test the gameplay. And I will just run up to where the drones are. Now, what should happen is when he turns around, you shouldn't be able to see his vision cone when he's up higher. And if I stand right next to this hiding spot, as he comes through, he should see me like that, which is kind of weird. It's interesting that he didn't chase me. What I might do even is extend this cube out a little further so that it goes right up to the edge of this stair where the hiding spot is. And same deal for this guy. So he doesn't see me if I'm just sitting right here, but he does see me on the way down. He actually chased me, which is interesting. Oh, you know what I bet happened is he probably touched the trigger on top of this hiding spot. Other thing is, their vision cones are pretty flat. It's really just where that that flat sprite is with the beam of light coming out. So if I stand above or below it, it can't really see me, which I'm on top of this hiding spot, so I'm just out of his line of sight there. It's a little funky, and we can discuss that if that's something that people are finding when they playtest is weird to them. That's something that we could change that if playtesters aren't enjoying that. But for now, I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to move my level geometry a little to make it feel a little better. So I'm going to, in environment only view, select both of those cubes, which I think is these two. And here, I'll move it so you can see them a little better. I will stretch these out a touch, and I'll move them forward a bit so they don't clip through the wall. And now, let's see. That's a little too long. I just want it to touch, like, the edge of where I have this hiding spot, but not, I don't want it to clip into the hiding spot like it's doing right now. So a little bit further in. And of course, I'm a very nitpicky designer, this kind of stuff is like not totally necessary for a Greybox stage, but I like to make it feel as good as possible for playtesting at this stage. As close as possible to the way that I want the level to feel, even when it has like actual props in it. Okay, so that should be pretty good. I think I'll just leave that there for now. So what next? I think I want more hiding spots because I only added one. So I'll go back into gameplay only and look at this hiding spot. Let's put another one. Let's put one. So now that I've moved that drone, I don't have a ton of room against this wall, but I can just put another one up against what will eventually be a wall here. And I guess I'll put the wall after I'm done with hiding spot arrangements. Rotate this and let's see. About there, I think is good. So that means I need another trigger for that guy. Let's this one go back into full view. It is a little tedious to do this, so it's a good idea to have the drones as close to where you think you want them as possible before you start adding their hiding spots in their territory. Out on top of here. Move it a little like that. And I want that to be pretty tight on the hiding spot so that if the player happens to go over here while they're being chased, the drone doesn't immediately just go back to patrol unless they go behind the hiding spot is the idea. So I also want another similar hiding spot for this drone because he doesn't have any. So let's go back to gameplay only view. Close my drones for a minute. Take this new hiding spot, duplicate this, move it over. Let's do this one against, against where the edge of the stairs is at this corner. This kind of intersection here. I want to rotate this a bit, maybe like that. Put it up closer. And the green box that you're seeing here is not the same as a return to patrol trigger. What that trigger is it allows the player to hide. So when the player gets this close to it, they will see that E to hide prompt come up, but it does not affect the drone's patrol. Move this just a little bit this way. And now I will add another thing for this guy in full view. And I'll move this over here. Now, you'll have noticed if you've been watching, especially more than one of these Greyboxing demo vids that I do, I move pretty quickly in the editor. I'm like flying all around and moving the camera in all kinds of funky ways. That's just from having done this a bazillion times because I have gotten a lot of practice because I've used 3D editing tools many times at this point. So it's second nature to me. And if you are newer to 3D game development, whoops, where'd that go? You may not be as familiar yet, and it might take you longer just to navigate around the scene. And that's okay. It takes practice, but you will eventually, if you keep using these tools, get to a state where you can go fast like this and be able to navigate quickly. So here we go. This is a little misaligned just because I had to rotate it a bit to get it the way I wanted it. That's okay. Let's put that like there. It doesn't have to be totally exact, but the closer you get it to where you want the drone to stop chasing the player, the better it will work. I think that is just about right. I think that's good enough. So I'm going to save because I haven't done that yet. Always save your work. I don't save as much as I should, but you should save as much as you can remember to. So let's test out these new hiding spots. What I want to happen is when I get spotted and go to hide, the drone will stop chasing me if I get there fast enough. Like that, I just barely escaped that one. And now I'll let him go back up here. I will follow him, but I want to hide. Quick. There we go. So he didn't see me. That's what I want. I'm still on the stairs when I get out. And he goes up there and goes back to patrol. So that one is working well. Let's try this other drone. It should work just the same, I think. Might want to actually move his node up a bit because he seems to clip through the edge of that just a little bit. Okay, and he goes back. And sometimes it can be a little bit disorienting when you exit a hide because you're where you got in. But it's just okay, I think. So that's all working. Cool. So now you have places to hide from these drones. And I think that's pretty good. So now, there's not a whole lot going on this upper floor. I would like to change that. So what I think I want to do, I have an idea for one rectangle patrol bot to go across this beam and also up to about where these pillars are and then back across the other way. And then one back and forth drone on this stretch and another one on the other stretch. And I want it to be so that you can't actually get to the end before it turns around. So you have to hide in spots along the way. There are some enemies, if you've ever played the Persona games, I've only played Persona 5 personally, but in the dungeons in those games, there are enemies that will patrol a route, kind of like these ones, and there's spots where you can hide, and while you're hiding, the enemies can't see you. So that's a fairly similar mechanic. And sometimes in Persona 5, there will be hallways where the enemies will patrol back and forth, and there's no way to not be spotted if you don't hide, because you can't get past them in the time that they're turned around. So you have to hide and kind of jump back and forth across the hallway in order to get through without being spotted, if that's what you want to do. So that is what I want to emulate here. And to do that, I will go into gameplay only view and take. I'm just going to grab this rectangle guy that I already have down here and duplicate him. And bring him up to the second level. I just want to look at where the drone is in comparison to the floor of this level. Because I want him to be just a little ways off the floor. I think that's about right. I can always change that later. So I'll move him over this way. And that should be about right, I think. And maybe just for good measure, I'll flip him around. That's not the way I wanted to flip him. 270? Is that it? Yep. Just so that it's not the exact same as the one downstairs. And one change I want to make, though, if this guy sees you, I want him to be able to chase you down the whole stretch on either side, because he should still have line of sight to you. So it's this is kind of a dangerous area. That's what I want, is for it to be more challenging to get away if you get spotted up here. I am going to move this just a little bit. There we go. Now I'll hop into full view. I'm going to close this scene. I want to look at his territory bounds. Same deal, take this big one, move it down on top of where the player respawns, roughly. This is a hiding spot, which I don't have any right now, but I will add some, so I'll just leave that there. These two, I'm going to want to be the full length of this area, so I will stretch them out. And then this one's fine. This one I need to be farther at the end here. There we go. So he only has a small patrol area, but he actually has a large area that he can chase you in. And that should work okay. So I will try to quickly test that after I finish saving here. You may notice that you can hear the drone flying noises when you start a level for a second, and that's just a quirk of how the games work in the Endless mission, I think. But it's nothing to worry about. It won't hurt anything. He goes all the way up to the edge there, and then he flies back down here. I get spotted, and then down here he doesn't see me. That's correct. Whoops. I think I fell on top of a different drone there. Run past him. Here. And if he sees me... He sees me and I run over here. Oh, that's interesting. You know what I bet happened is he may have hit different drones return to patrol trigger, which should not work on him, but it might. That's a bug that I've been noticing. Got me that time. Let's see if I can get even farther away, though. That happens. That was not the way to do that. And here we go. That should not have happened. That is the thing where he keeps chasing me. But I think in that case it may be because his return to patrol trigger that's on top of the respawn area may have been too short, because he actually starts at a higher level. So he may not touch that trigger because he's above it. So let me look and see if I can find that guy's trigger. It's a lot of this. This is like a large portion of what I've been doing while building these levels, and it's just an artifact of how this heist game mode works. So hopefully that will fix it. I think it should. Okay. Let's see if there's another trigger that he may have touched when I was over here. I don't really see one right there because he's too high to touch these ones. And I don't see any other ones. That's interesting. Let me just test that again and see if I can get it to happen again. This is a point where it would probably be faster if I moved the player to test. Always move the player back to their original location. Sorry. See, that shouldn't happen. It's about around here. I wonder if maybe he touched the edge of the wall. So maybe I should move that. Trigger out a little. Over here. Run straight back. And he can get me. Okay, I bet he got too close to the wall. So I think I will move those triggers out a little bit, and that should hopefully fix it. See how much time I got left here. Okay. It's pretty slow going sometimes. Especially with a lot of drones, to get them to behave properly, but that is okay. So I'm gonna take this one and move it farther out, so it's just a barely against the edge of the wall. Same for that one. That should hopefully fix it. I'm gonna trust that it will and just save that. And then I wanted 2 other drones up here. That might be kind of ambitious. Instead of doing that, what I might do is make another one of these guys, but reverse its path. So to do that, I'm just going to take the patrol bot and patrol nodes and rotate them like that to about 180. It's not perfect. I can't. That's the one thing you can't do is change the transform values of multiple selected objects manually. So I can't enter the number 180 for its rotation, but I can do what I did there and just use the gizmo. So now there's 2 drones with the exact same territory. I've never tried this before. It should work, theoretically. So now there should be 2 drones that move at the same speed and kind of share this area, but move in different paces. Well, not paces, but like directions. If I run over... That was unsuccessful avoidance of that drone. Parkour. So now I've got this guy to worry about, and there's this guy. He comes this way, and I move over here. Stuff over here, I could try to get it, but he's coming this way, so I have to move. It's not bad. It's easier than I would like it to be, but I'm going to leave it that way for now. I might add some more drones in here later. Oh no, it's gonna get me. He got me. So let's, instead of working more on this upper area drones, I'm going to add the wall that is supposed to be here so that you have to go get that key. And to do that, I will go into environment only. I think all of these are technically in the foyer still. Yeah. Which, this is not the foyer, but that's okay. I'm going to make another folder for, I'm just going to call this back room. And we'll take that last wall and hop into full view and move it to back room. Where are these other walls? This one and this one can go into back room. And that should do fine. And then I'll duplicate one of those. So I'm going to close up the foyer now, hop back into environment only, take this wall, duplicate it, move it over here, right up to the edge, and shorten it. I'll move it up to the edge of that. That should be about right. I just want it to be at the same height as all of that. There we go. So now I can even move it down a bit just to really sit on top of there. And move it out just a touch. So you can kind of see the border of that area. If I move it out a bit, that might, there we go. That looks about right. So now you can't get